Hi, it's Plus One Gaming with Ryan Mooney. And what did you do today?
I got my invite with my favorite deck, Pendulum Magicians.
And what's so special about this invite?
It's my first invite. I've played at 3 regionals this season, and this is like my first year playing competitively, and I finally got my invite.
Alright, and any other words before you get into the deck profile?
No, so...
Alright, let's get to it.
Alright, so we played 3 of the search card. We played 2 of this. I was playing 1, but it was just bad. Like 2 makes the deck more consistent and lets you pop your scales turn 1 for their effects. We played 3 harmonizing. This card's just broken. This free advantage is always cool. 3 double arrows. Again, another good card. We have 3 black fang. Some people play 2. I like 3. It's like really good grinding late game. Reviving your time star is pretty good. 3 purple poison. You actually don't play many low scales, so 3 low scales is not bad. Plus its effect's actually pretty cool too. 3 wisdom eye. It helps you pick your scales. It's pretty good too. With Star Pendulum Graph, it's just broken. 2 Elf Dragon. I've seen people play 1 of this, but I just think 2 is better.
And why do you think it's better?
Because it's like you already don't play too many low scales. Like your only other low scales would be like White Wing or like your Pendulum Sorcerer or Astrograph. But this is just like inherently your best low scale because it helps you recycle your resources and it helps you like outpace other decks. Whereas like others, like playing 1, if it gets destroyed, you can't like really catch up anymore.
Okay, that makes sense.
Play 2 Astrograph. One of these always comes out when I go second, but going first, this card's actually pretty cool with Pendulum Sorcerer. Because, like, pop your scales, you get free advantage. It just helps you combo off even more. It's a really good extender. So, you don't like, want to see multiple copies in your hand, but seeing 1 with, like, Pendulum Sorcerer or any way to pop your scales is really good. For hand traps, Ash, just, like, best hand trap in the game, in my opinion. Stops a lot of stuff. This card was actually the MVP today. You and Tanner Lawrence actually told me not to play this card, and then I was like, nah, screw that. I like this card. And it actually turned out being the MVP. It stopped so much today. So, I don't know if it's going to be good going forward, but like I thought 6 hand traps, because I play Max C as well, I thought 6 hand traps was actually better than 4, because you want to see at least 1. And if you don't, and your opponents just outpace you and out-combo you with this deck. Moving on to spell cards. 3 of the search card. Duelist Alliance. Searches a lot of your really good cards. Like, well, Pendulum Call is one of them, but Pendulum Call is, like, not the best card in this deck. Again, it's just, like, there if you need it. It's there if you need, like, the blowout card. We play 2 Desires.
Okay, I have a question about this. A lot of Pendulum Magicians actually play 3 of this card. Why did you only play 2?
It was actually a room thing. See, I play 41 cards, and I just want this deck to be as consistent. I want to draw as many monsters as possible, which, like, you would play 3 Desires for, but, like, I don't know, it's weird. I needed to cut space for room. I might play 3 in the future, but, like, 2 is fine right now. It's consistent enough to where I don't think I need 3 Desires. So, it's player preference. You can play 3. I prefer 2.
Okay, that's fine.
And then, like, the actual 2 best cards you search off of Duelist Alliance and Pendulum Sorcerer. Pendulum Sorcerer is, like, also your better card.
So 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2. I don't think playing 1 of either is good, because you can, like... I've had it happen before. I side out, like, one of these, and I just banish the copy off Desires, and it's like, wow, that's bad. I can't...
Do the thing.
Yeah, I can't wombo combo.
Alright, let's get to the extra.
Do you want to do side first or extra?
Either or.
Alright, we'll do side first. Side blocker, in theory, this card was good. In practice, I bandished all 3 copies with Desires twice. I only sided it twice, and I never saw it, but I think the card's good enough. It's a level 4 too, so if you just like don't need to use it. Here's the card that just helps you win the mirror. The Wavering Eyes is like an obvious 3 of on the side. We played Cyclone. In my opinion, it's actually the best because it stops Invocation. It stops Reincarnation from reoccurring.
How does it stop Invocation?
So, if you have this...
I know.
Okay. I don't need to explain it? Cool. Yeah.
Had to throw a funny moment.
Yeah. It's great. I actually hit a Reincarnation with this today, and I also hit an Invocation round 8. Board wipes, we play Dark Hole, Regeki, Slumber, and we play one big kaiju, and shout out to Bella and Gamma Seal.
Great. What? Oop.
Oof. Extra deck?
Yeah.
Link Monsters. I only play 2. I like this card a lot. I don't see many people playing it, but again, it's just preference. I like this card a lot because it can sometimes be a really sacky out to some cards. Like, I've seen where I've had a Decode Talker before, and people just summon the Akashic to where it is, and just bounce my Decode Talker. It's actually really funny when you do that.
To you.
Yeah, you've done it to me multiple times, actually.
Nice.
Synchros. I play Enlightenment Paladin. Cards just, like, you can target it with your scale effects, too. Just, like, you have one of each. You have the Akashic, the Enlightenment, and the Time Star. So you can always have stuff, if you like, your last resort to target with your their scale effects. This card is absolutely disgusting. I actually gamed a few people with this card because it's just completely broken. It breaks boards really easily. Ignister's also a really good board breaker. And Ignister doesn't target, so gets around Spiral Resort. I didn't summon this card today, but it's also I think it's more of a blowout card than any other thing, because like your other cards work around stuff, but Beals is just there to help you win. If you're already like winning, it helps you just keep going. I played 2 Omega. I was playing 1, but 1 Omega just sucks. The old combo used to be, first I make Omega, then I make Baguska. Now I don't do that because that's just absolutely horrible. Moving on to XEs, we play 1 Walking MST. Okay, let me talk about Baguska for a second. Here's the worst card in my extra deck, in my opinion. Okay, so the thing about Baguska, it's just inherently worse than like anything else you can summon turn 1, and it doesn't stop Spiral. Spiral just makes a Decode Talker, smacks over this thing turn 1.
Or just Double Helix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Double Helix in the Decode.
Yeah, there you go.
Insane.
Yeah, you just destroy the Baguska with it and then go off in main phase 2. And then like Spirals just outpace you from there. Baguska does hit other decks though. Like I summoned it against a Trickstar player and he couldn't do anything because he like can't search his cards.
Tricksters suck.
Yeah, this Trick has a really good matchup against Tricksters. I did punt against a Trickstar player though. You know. We don't talk about that. Time Star Magician, actually the best card in the extra deck. I think it's like way better than summoning Baguska.
Definitely the most summoned one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every time I walked around to see you play, that guy was on the board.
Time Star's my bae. This thing, like, okay, if this thing survives through your opponent's turn, you get enough advantage to where you can kill your opponent. It's just so good. Your OTK cards, Trapeze, I didn't summon it. Well, no, I actually did summon it once. And killed the dude because I actually used this card and he outed it. This card, Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion, is just insane. I mean, if your opponent's at, like, I don't know, 5,000 life points or less, they're usually dead if you summon this card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's insane. It doesn't target either. It also gets around Spiral Resort. I summoned this once today against a Crystal Wing, and I killed him. Utopia package.
Alright. Any shout-outs or...
Shout-outs to Nick Curry and Larry Musgrove for letting me borrow some of these cards that I didn't have access to. Shout-outs to Larry's Jersey for giving me 2 round losses. Shout-out to Plus One Gaming, my locals. They've helped me a lot. I had multiple people, Killian Combs and Brian Gibbons, just texting me through the whole event and cheering me on and just rooting for me to get my invite. So, thank you guys.